Greetings, this brother teacher Ajamu Minka Kafele, my fight for justice in the name of Allah and the will of Allah is worth dying for. I am back again. I want to discuss something about the Kaepernick situation, workout, but specifically about the shirt, the Kunta Kinte shirt. Very powerful message in that. And I want to discuss it from the perspective of a message that was in that we should be looking at. And a lot of people took it, to start out with, a lot of people took it as, him saying, I'm not a slave, so forth. And that was true. But I think a bigger message that we overlook, and something, again, that many black intellectuals do not want to discuss, is that we need new names. We cannot be identifying ourselves as free having the name of the enslaver. And I know some of you are like, well, this is my father's name and I'm carrying it on and on and on, but that's not your father's name, if you will. That's a name that he was given. And so you're actually carrying on the name of the enslaver that he was given. It would be like carrying on Toby instead of Kinte, Kunta Kinte, you see, and then trying to make some glory out of that. We've got to make these changes. We're supposed to be black intellectuals. We're supposed to be intelligent. We're supposed to be learned and doing things to better our people, and we should be leading by example. And I realize that everyone isn't going to make a formal name change or what have you, but in the confines of your home, amongst your family, or just amongst yourself, I would suggest you get a book, and begin to meditate, which is what I did, and pray about who and what you are and identifying a name associated with that. Get that name. Begin to write that name. Put that name up on a picture or poster on your walls, and its meaning. Get a name that has a meaning. Get a divine name that has a meaning, not a slave name that reflects an entire social order that means that you were enslaved or of the enslaved, and can actually be saying you're still captive. And we know that many of us, unfortunately, still are mentally captive. But a free people name themselves. A God, which we are by nature able to be, is going to be in power. He's not going to have the name of the one who made him not a God, made him a nigga. Okay, so we're walking around with nigga names. The Tobys. Okay, no disrespect if your name is Toby. And we've got to take onus of removing this. We've got to take onus, and I say particularly the last name. You've got to take onus of removing that and then handing your children a new nation under a truer name, under a righteous name, under a divine name, under a name that has some meaning that they can latch on and carry on. And so the bigger message to me in the Kunta Kinte reminds me of a verse in the Bible, Isaiah 62:2, where it's talking about the rise of the righteous, and they will have new names. And so to my people, I say to you, get a new name. Get a new name if it ain't just in private. If it begin to call your children not nigga names, but names that reflect you are empowered, you are in control, and you are defining who and what your children are. So even if you've already named your child, begin to give them a name that is going to identify a new time and social order that is to be. We cannot continue to engage in these enslavement activities, which includes naming. We know all the other things in religion and diet and the ways and all of that. But just talking about the name, showing that you take some ownership, you've taken some control. Now when you give that name and you have a meaning, now you can look to the child and look to the future and say, we want you to live up to this. We want you to represent this. We want you to go forth and build a new nation like they built a new nation when they gave us nigger names. You're going to build a new nation by taking a divine name and go forth and be righteous. This is your brother teacher, Ajamu Minkar Kafele, saying, I love you if you're righteous. Can't stand you if you ain't. Go forth, be righteous, and get yourself a new name. Peace and blessings.